How's it going, guys? Today is going to be a shorter and much simpler video, since this week's Nightfall is the easiest one of all, especially the easiest of the season, the Lake of Shadows. We got a bit more efficient with the runs later on in the day, but this is, I think, the second run we did, so it's a bit more of a careful run, ending up about 16 or 17 minutes. You could probably get this Nightfall down to under 10 minutes if you were really sweaty about it. There's also a trick we heard about that if you kill the blights in the beginning here in reverse order, it stops a big chunk of the early enemies spawning, including champions. So that could definitely help with runs. A bit of a change of pace this week with the loadouts we're running. Usually on the Lake of Shadows, we would just go with multiple Thunder Crash Titans, so just one-shot the boss. But we wanted to run on other classes, and this season's Fusion Rifle debuff makes it pretty easy to DPS bosses with other stuff, like the 1K. I'm playing with a Celestial Nighthawk Golden Gun Hunter with that's an explosive head biting winds bow for overloads and just general ad clear. The Null Composure for damage and for the void shields, and the 1K voices for more fatty damage. The other guys are running Stasis Hunter with blinding nades, grenade launcher, Vex Mythoclast, and Tarantula linear fusion rifle. And we also have a Well Warlock, also with blinding nades, a Point of the Stag bow for the arc shields, and also the 1K. Taken spec is very useful for this strike also if you have it from the Last Wish raid. As long as you cover all the bases of the champions and the shields, this strike is really easy to do with whatever loadout you can manage. As you see here, you just have to push up through the area, killing everything mostly from range. Well, some of the things that make this strike much easier than last week, especially the Hollowed Lair, it's a big change between that one and this one, with how difficult that one is and how easy this one is, basically. I mean, you still have to deal with the snipers, as usual, in GM Nightfalls, which you can mostly deal with just using the bows and fusion rifles when they're stunned. The good differences is that the basic enemies in this Nightfall, the Thralls and the Scions, are really easy to deal with in comparison to the Scorn basic enemies. You have the shielded guys with the bin lids that block everything you shoot at them, and then the regular Stalkers dropping the mini screams constantly is also, you know, a whole other thing to deal with. You're also never really penned into any areas in this strike. You're basically always the aggressor, so you can hang back and really just take the whole strike at your own pace. Moving back to give you a better opportunity to fight the unstoppable champions is an easy way to clear them. I used a Golden Gun basically whenever I had it up to get orbs for the other guys, give them charge with light, get more super energy, and mostly just to save ammo and get the champs cleaned up. The Well, we really only used them up here to fight these guys, the two champions and the mini boss that spawns in, and the Silence and Squall we just use to clean up and control a lot of ads. Like I said before, we did get a bit. We did quite a few runs of this yesterday, so we sped it up a bit more later on. We got a bit more efficient with it, and we were just throwing out the supers whenever we had them up. As opposed to, at first, you usually, like, when you're first running these, you hold on to them a bit more. But especially with the Hunter, with the Golden Gun Hunter, with the change, I think it's to the Celestial Nighthawk, you get some of your super energy back when you actually kill an enemy with it. So you get like a quarter-ish, something like that, a quarter to a third of the super back. You generate 4 orbs, 2 for hitting the precision shot and 2 for getting the kill, which is really nice. And then also you have, what's the perk called? Practice makes perfect. I don't play the Hunter a lot. This is pretty new for me, so I'm just trying to remember it. But I think it's practice makes perfect, which increases your super regen when you're hitting precision hits. That's really, really nice. You get this up quite a lot. You can just pop it, you know, basically whenever you want, and as long as you hit the headshots, which I don't always, because, you know, we're not all perfect. It's pretty useful, I think, to have. The bridge here is really easy as well to just fight from range. You can hit a lot of these enemies when you're out of their range. Basically, the champions, you can just burn them down with the bows at a distance. The AoE damage in this strike is pretty brutal because of the modifier increasing environmental damage. That includes like getting knocked into the wall by the boot portals, I think. That does a lot of damage. Also, there's the taken goose that's on the floor, like at the beginning and stuff. It just melts you the second you step into it, so be careful of getting knocked into it by the phalanx shields. This section at the end of the bridge here, where the champions hide behind the wall, is really the biggest issue in the strike. Because there's an overload and an unstoppable hiding behind the pillar down here, and you basically, unless you like peek a certain angle, you have to jump down to fight them, and it's pretty deadly in there. Having both the kinds of champions right in front of you, and there's the knight, the mini boss at the back there, that makes you go through the fire and the flames like he's Herman Lee. It's a big pain in the ass to get through there. Sometimes this is the place where stuff can go wrong the most, I think. This section could also be a little bit annoying with the, there's a lot of goblins that can shield the unstoppable champion that's around the corner here, and then you also have the knights up on the stairs that can really hurt. The overload champions, the champion comboed with the knights is really a pain in the ass, I think. This wizard up here, I think, is the only void shield enemy in the strike as well. Not too bad to deal with the null composure. The boss in this Nightfall is really easy as long as you stack up the high DPS weapons or supers, and then you don't have to deal with the rest of the boss room at all. We just spawn the boss in, put the well down, and we're just using the 1k to burn him down. And then our golden gun. And there you have it. The easiest GM in the game. The weapons I'm going to be looking for that are in the rotation for Lake of Shadows are the Palindrome and the Hothead rocket launcher. So I definitely recommend farming this one for your adept weapons. Especially since they made it 100% drop chance for platinum completions. If you found this video useful, consider dropping a like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.